Yeah, it's down to the aggression they were getting out in lane. Like, sure, Q dropped once, going a bit too far, but once they had the double iron shell, they just constantly played aggressive, and they managed to get the gold flowing, get the EXP flowing that way. And you
By the
still
way,
have this amazing combination. Yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt, John. I just realized it's another day where you haven't brought up Sand King, and it's been picked twice in a row. This keeps happening. Every day you don't mention Sand King's name, it gets picked up, John. So
I'm aware.
okay.
Why do you think I'm not mentioning it so it can get picked?
Motivate.Trust. They'll go for a Phoenix 4th pickup. A lot of big team fight here, Jonathan. I mean, Darkseer,
This is
Sand King.
weird.
What is it, John?
Who's the core? Who's the core?
I told
Darkseer
you.
is the core.
I already told you.
Sand King
already
mid,
told you.
Darkseer mid. Which
No,
one?
it's the Mamang Dai
TA.
special. It's the
Yeah.
Darkseer. Here's what I'm guessing. Darkseer mid, though it might be Fearless mid in all fairness, because he did run it the other day as well.
Yeah.
Was it good though? I mean, let's be honest. Did it work well? I feel like it didn't, but I can't remember.
Not quite.
Okay.
No, I don't think it did, but I feel like if you want to send a message to OB.Neon, you have Fearless run the Sand King mid. That's sending a message to Yopaj. So he has to deal with a Sand King. He's he's like, oh, I love Sand King mid against TA. I just burned Ray Farm. Now he has to deal with it. That could be one way. Motivate.Trust to get into the heads of OB.Neon here. They're still building up this team fight combo, right? Phoenix now, Vac, Sunray, Vac, Egg, very strong. You've got the Earth Spike and Burrow Strike to protect the Egg here. Amazing team fight combinations. OB.Neon, they've got the Enchantress. They can kind of hunt around, get a good creep to enchant up, run down mid if they want to get a rotation with the Tusk. So the double support rotation is going to be really strong. And they can start to control the jungle early on, build some good stacks, scout out Motivate.Trust jungle, prevent Jackie from farming with the Enchantress. They have a lot more ways to kind of project their power here on OB.Neon's side.
Okay. Final pickup, or rather ban out OB.Neon. They'll get rid of the gyrocopter. Fair enough. I don't think they want to have that same experience as last game, so just get rid of that. Motivate.Trust, final pickup. They still need the POS 1 here for Jackie. I mean, if you wanted to play really fast pace, again, you could go for something like the Ricky, but, in terms of tower push, it doesn't really do much. I'm sure they do feel like they need a tower hitter right now, Motivate.Trust. Otherwise, they're just never going to be able to get objectives. What else do you have? I mean, you can go Lifestealer. Doesn't do too badly into the Viper. Jug's banned out, so you won't have that option available.
You could just go Luna. You could go TB. You could go with this very standard POS 1 core here from Motivate.Trust, because they have very selfless cores elsewhere. Darkseer can just clear out farm on the lane. Sand King as well. They don't really need jungle all too much, although the Sand King might. But there's enough space there to still sustain a Luna, because you can play fast. You don't necessarily need farm. Just need a blink on the Sand King. We saw the Darkseer go for an early mech as well instead of the Ags Rush, just sustaining his team. So you can still play around those same spikes. And I think that Motivate.Trust can just give that win condition out to Jackie. A very clear-cut sort of hero. It's just a choice now. Do you want Terrorblade? Do you want Luna? I guess Lifestealer, as you said, could be a good option as well. You have good targets here if you want that.
TB.
They go with the Terrorblade. Yeah. Jackie Terrorblade. I've seen this a million times. A very stable hero for him. Issue is in lane. He might be laning up against a Viper. That is not fun while your Metamorphosis is down. With a Tusk, as you mentioned, that's not enjoyable for Jackie. So we'll see if he can actually get that farm rolling here, as it's not going to be a great lane, no matter what he does.
I think your only option right now for Motivate, if they are going to be against the offlane Viper, is they've got to just keep switching lanes. Like, you can get to the jungle very early as the TB, like as soon as really 4 or 5 minutes if you really want. You just need a Wraith Band or two. With the illusions, you can start kind of acting like a TA, and just go to the jungle, but it is slower, to say the least. And OB.Neon, they're going to go for the POS 1 Leshrac for CTM. So I know this is going to happen with OB.Neon. When you speedrun against them, they're going to speedrun back against you. They're the kind of team where they will retaliate in the exact same way. I think they're going for a very, very fast kind of ending for OB.Neon. Motivate.Trust, I'm wondering whether they can weather the storm with this kind of draft, because it does feel like OB.Neon have just unlimited counters to this TB on Jackie.
I mean, it's an excellent last pick to counteract the TB. Lots of damage flying through. It is a Sand King mid for Fearless.
Okay.
So he's bringing it to Yopaj. We'll see if he can be as effective as Yopaj now. That's a big question here for Motivate.Trust. I think for OB.Neon, they're kind of going all in, right? So once the Viper and Leshrac start to taper off, if they don't get that big spike, start melting towers by 15, taking big team fights by 20 minutes in, and then your win condition just shifts onto the TA, and it's going to be TA versus Terrorblade, which, the TA can still win out on, but Terrorblade's a high armor hero. Your minus armor starts to lose significance because his EHP still stays relatively high just because of his sheer agi gain and the stats he's going to build up. Scotty downline, lots of strength coming in. So I think as the game scales late, the Terrorblade is better, but Neon can play a lot faster. They don't rely on teamfight spells. They mainly rely on this run and gun kind of draft to find a pick off, go for the tower push afterwards, and that's what we'll need to see OB.Neon pull off. They need to be aggressive in lane. They need to kind of maximize both their Enchantress Leshrac lane and the Tusk Viper, because both lanes can actually get off to a really fast start and just kind of take the game from there.
But who has the better draft, John, going into game 2? I mean, again, one of these teams has to be knocked out tonight. Motivate are one game away from proceeding. OB.Neon, they're against the ropes right now. Is their draft good enough to force us to a game 3?
I think it is. I think OB.Neon's draft is actually a bit faster compared to Motivate.Trust, and we kind of saw some of that waiting from Motivate.Trust in game 1 where they actually had to wait for Q's blink on the Sand King. So this time around, they're going to have to try and wait for the blink on Fearless, maybe the mech on Masaros, and that will take a little bit more time, whereas Neon just need levels. So that's the big difference. Their power spikes are tied into these EXP spikes. Level 6 for a lot of their heroes is when it's go time. And that's just generally easier to hit than, say, specific item timings.
You know what I just realized as well, John? Motivate.Trust. They may have just wanted to finish the game early so they don't have to hear that voice line from Januel. The whole throat singing thing that you seem to love to hear. We didn't get to hear any of it last game. Januel was very quiet. I think Motivate.Trust, they may have just seen the games against OB.Neon. They just had enough of here. Oh, there it is. Speaking of the devil, there it is. I regret everything.
It's impressive throat singing. It's really hard to do that. It really is. I've tried in my downtime just for fun. I can't do it.
You're telling me people spend time practicing to do that?
Yeah.
Right.
It's good music.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna link you to the entire performance on KEXP of Hunhurtu. You're gonna love it.
I'll watch it for sure. 100% I'll watch it. I mean, there's no doubt that I'll sit there watching through the whole performance, John. When you link it, that is. I mean, you've been telling me for weeks you're going to link me that.
Forget. I have terrible memory. You should know this. I have terrible memory, Mike.
Yeah.
I can't remember what day it is most days.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Caster's life for you. Just forget about everything. Still, Motivate, I'm very curious to see how they're going to try and run this draft. I mean, it certainly seems like OB.Neon are much more prepared for the onslaught that came last game. So I don't think it's going to be such an easy game for Motivate.Trust this time around. I mean, there's no doubt OB.Neon should be able to be a lot more dominant, at least throughout the laning stage. But I'd say the mid game is also going to be looking very, very potent.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a brawl. Big difference compared to game 1. No one going for the early first blood, but they're lining up in the bot rune spot. So we'll see who gets a jump here.
Level 1 timing's not too bad for Motivate, but it's not bad either for OB.Neon. Earthspike is there. Double Split Earth does connect. The tag team is active, but the bounty rune does still go the way of Motivate. And surprisingly enough, nobody's gonna die. And I think it went back to the Fire Spirits from set 0, just slowing everyone's attack speed so they couldn't maximize the tag team damage.
Yeah, they were just stalled out long enough. A bit of a mistake from Motivate. They kind of stacked their stuns on the line and Sand King. You're still seeing Q play poke, but that should lead us to her lanes down mid. Fearless is up against Yopaj. Sand King versus TA. Yopaj has done this many times before. We'll have to see if he knows the shortcomings. Fearless, of course, went for level 1 Burrow Strike for the initial attempt at first blood. So he's not going to have the Sandstorm. Down the line, you can play with a Caustic. Yopaj is fairly short range, early level, so you can still get some value damage there. But as it goes on, Yopaj can just be patient, line up the side blades, and just get some early harassment here in the first 2 levels at least.
Fair enough. Over in the top lane, you've got Jackie there on the TB, went set 0 on the Phoenix, and of course Enryu on that Viper. Shanks, he's going to go for the very early creep pool to get his own level 2 up. it should be a rather difficult lane for Jackie. I mean, we talked about this quite a bit during the drafting phase, but Terrorblade does not like playing against Viper, and you add a Tusk to the equation, it becomes that much worse. So he's going to try and escalate as fast as he possibly can so he can start rotating into the jungle, I think. For now, things are going to be just fine, but definitely as the levels start to come up on OB.Neon in this off lane, things are going to start to escalate, and well, Set Zero, I think he's going to have to be working overtime with those Fire Spirits to make sure that Jackie doesn't die once you do end up closing the gap with that tag team from Shanks.
Yeah, it's all down to the Phoenix and his spell use. Very important for him to save the Fire Spirits as a defensive tool, rather offensive. So just going to have to be more patient in this lane, and Ryu building up some farm. They got a good creep pull a while ago to build up EXP. Not quite enough to hit level 2 yet. So,
yeah, CTM's in trouble. Iron Shell's still going. Masaros, he was enchanted up, but it won't matter. Q, he's able to secure the kill with that final right click. And Januel, he tried everything to keep Masaros away from CTM, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, it's a mildly painful lane there for the Leshrac as levels are low. You can't quite out-harass the Darkseer yet because Iron Shell is just really good source of damage. You've got a good stun on Q to just lock them in and have the Darkseer play around when the lane is shoved out. So you can just run down the Leshrac, kind of punish him for being up close. You do have to respect if Johnwell gets a good creep up, but they've done a good job just blocking off the large camps. You're not really too scared of a Centaur coming in, of a Wild Wing Ripper, of a Tomato Creep. So some of that early impact for Johnwell is kind of taken away. There is still that enchant to Dispel. That can be annoying for Monsters, but overall, you get a kill like that, you're kind of happy with the lane already.
Yeah, I mean, certainly so. I think top lane is where you're probably not very happy, at least for Motivate, as Jackie's now starting to feel the brunt of it, and a nice shards is there from Shanks, but the tag team, not going to do much. The Set Zero was there with the Fire Spirits immediately, and you can actually see Set Zero being very patient. Just holding onto the Fire Spirits, he's not trying to abuse them off cooldown, he's just waiting for every moment that Shanks will run in with the tag team to try and abuse them. But now Shanks, he has the tag team back off cooldown, but at least you have Jackie with the meta now. And that'll force them back anyway. So as long as they keep juggling those spells, it seems like Motivate is going to be able to make it through this top lane.
Yeah, and Jackie surprisingly still up there in terms of CS, above CTM's own farm in Lesh. So even considering this bad lane matchup, Jackie is working this lane well enough. And that the farm is slowly trickling in. He should be able to hit his level 4-5 spikes and play in the jungle relatively safely. Good forward wards from OB.Neon to watch that jungle early, so they might be able to punish, but for now, Motivate.Trust getting everything they want in that lane.
Yeah, I mean, they even forced Enryu to TP back to the fountain. So Jackie's got like 2 waves where he can just freely farm up, which is going to be a real blessing in disguise for him. So again, all he needs is to have the treads and a couple Wraith Bands up, and he's going to the jungle. He's not sticking around in this lane any further. He'll just leave Set Zero to take care of it. Thing is, though, you look back into that mid lane, OB.Neon, they are having a great time with Yapaj. While you are still farming very nicely on Fearless' Sand King, he's not really able to shut down the TA. It's not quite like a Viper, where you can just hit him from a range and get through the refraction charges. It is much harder to try and abuse the Sandstorm. However, bot lane, Masaros able to get another kill, this time onto Januel, but CTM is going to be able to trade lives, and he might even be able to chase down Masaros now with the Lightning Strike. Top lane, Shanks ends up going down to Jackie. Masaros is indeed going to drop. CTM just barely able to get him with that last bit of lightning. It's certainly going to feel very worthwhile for OB.Neon down at this bot lane. But again, while that was happening, top lane, Shanks ends up dying to Jackie.
They just overcommit for the dives here on the side of OB.Neon, and Motivate.Trust managed to punish on top. So Jackie again building up on the Terrorblade is pretty good. You do worry about how much you're bleeding out to that Leshrac on the bot lane, but look mid, they're grouping up.
I mean, there's 3 heroes, but Fearless is still in. In fact, there's Masaros coming in as well. Iron Shell's out on Fearless, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough as Shanks, with that level 1 tag team, is just doing too much damage. So Yopashi gets a double kill on the TA, and he can even pressure the mid-tier 1 tower a little bit with the Siege Creep.
Yeah, it's really good movement out from OB.Neon. Motivate.Trust, really early movement out from Masaros down mid, and they just kind of get caught out. The slow from the trap, popping on all of them, just held back that fight. And they're just giving a free lane to CTM, which is worrisome. Like that Leshrac, with some early farm with just one very quick item, he's going to have a lot of presence in these engagements, and he could even just shove in the bot tier 1 or just rotate mid at some point with the levels up. And that is something that Motivate.Trust has to watch for. They need to kind of just prevent that flash farm from coming through for that insane push. However, Fearless is invading the jungle, and you get some nice stacks out.
Yeah. Of course, very important to try and steal those stacks away from your Page. Going to be a bit of a rotation now, speaking of the Devil, with Januel. They're going to move through the Dire jungle. Shanks getting some information here on Jackie, and Ryu going to be targeted though on the Viper, but the Icarus dive is just way off the mark. They're still going to try and chase the Viper, but he has backup coming. In fact, never mind. They turn right back the other way. OB.Neon, they do not want to fight without the Viper. That's a very nice scan out as well from Motivate. Actually predicting exactly where OB.Neon was. So make sure they don't make their way over and get picked off. Fearless, he'll come over, but he's going to feel a lot safer, though. Massaros does get caught out on the darks here, and another kill will go the way of your Pages. Now CTM's going to run right into Fearless. They'll get the Burrow Strike away, but the Snowball is going to be there, and that should be another kill the way of OB.Neon.
Mensch really just start running around, and they've got that early damage presence now on CTM. He's just ready to fight. He went for mainly damage here, no push potential, but he's chasing down Jackie.
I mean, why the hell not? It's one of the counters towards the TB, and he hasn't got Sunder yet. So Jackie has no way out. And OB.Neon, they've gotten the speedrun started, John. Start that timer. It's begun.
Yep, they're on a roll. The one thing that OB.Neon needs to do next is perhaps start to look at towers. They need to just get a push going. They have cleared the mid tier 1, so the jungle's way easier to access. Motivate.Trust need to kind of get some space going again for Jackie. He's just not quite safe, or at least he doesn't quite feel safe going forward, and he's missing a lot of space to farm. The positioning of OB.Neon, they're just playing the opposite jungle, being aggressive. The only hero playing on their side of the river is really the TA. CTM Salt's clearing out the bot jungle, but that's because the bot tier 1 stands. Motivate.Trust needs to push. You need the tower to fall to open up the map a bit more. They can't quite get into position for that as they don't have items, they don't have the power spikes they need in levels, and OB.Neon just do a lot more at this point.
Bot lane Q. They get caught. Shanks shards on target. Nice earth spike though. Q gonna buy the time to get himself out. Now Fearless epicenter. Not gonna go all the way with it. Massaros goes for the surge, but Fearless will run back the other way. Doesn't want to try and initiate here and Motivate. I think they're just going to try and play the evade game right now with OB.Neon. Of course, they realize that they are rather weak at the moment and quite behind in net worth. 2k, in fact. But when you look at your Page and CTM, with these kind of earlier heroes, with these earlier power spikes, you just definitely don't want to fight if you can avoid it.
Just want to try keep farming up, want to try to buy space out for that Terrorblade. They're grouping up to bot push, and they might find Shanks if they're lucky, but don't quite spot him out.
No. Top lane as well. Enry just going to take care of that top tier 1 tower. No problems for the Viper. Just back off as Motivate. They're going to try and do the same thing with the Metamorphosis pop from Jackie. There is time to defend here from OB.Neon if they so wish. They haven't got a mid-tier 1 tower to go after either. They got that so long ago now. So they could definitely try for the defense, but it could be very dangerous. TP's coming in. They're going to commit. Shards. Oh, that's a great shards out. Jackie, he's been trapped up. He's going to have to just try and force the fight out, and he will. A nice reflection is going to land onto 3. They'll run back into the tree line, and now the egg. They are trapped between a rock and a hard place. They've got nowhere to go, but the snowball is going to buy time. Egg is still going to pop. Fearless, he's looking for some targets. They do get Januel and Shanks. He's going to try and run. Ern is out, but it looks like they get the tusk out of there. However, CTM has been spotted. Target acquired. They do get him. Dominating spree the way of Fearless now. That was some really, really nice kind of fight movement being made there by Motivate. Just the way they position everything and trap OB.Neon in their own tree line. Really just rather fantastic.
Yeah, it boils down to the team fight potential of OB.Neon's, of Motivate.Trust lineup. They've just got all this great team fight, great control. They've got the levels up to really pull it off. And OB.Neon can't really afford to just run up like that. They don't have the same level of control. They do hold people nicely in a tight area, but it's a very tight area that they have to kind of group people up into. The positive news for OB.Neon is that Yopaj is off to a running start. So even if you sacrifice your pos 1 Lesh, Yopaj is the win condition. He's farming up in the triangle. He's got the Dragon Lance up, Blink next, only about 800 gold away. So not too far off from that big spike on the TA. Going to be looking for that Desolator timing next. And I think for OB.Neon, even if those kinds of trades happen, as long as Yopaj is ahead of the Terrorblade, you can still be pretty happy with how the game goes. Like, he is going to have a game. He's going to have damage to actually output compared to game 1. It's really down to Motivate.Trust that have to play fast. Like, they have to keep stalling out for Jackie, sure, but their 4-man is just so much stronger that they can't afford to really take any breaks here.
Yeah, certainly not. Top lane, Masaros has been spotted. Genuel unable to really break the gap, and he's... Oh, actually, never mind. Masaros gonna run into him now. They do have Enryu around on the Viper, but Masaros, as long as he holds the Surge and doesn't let it get purged off with the enchant, he's gonna be fine to back. Yeah, OB.Neon. Net worth lead is down to 1k now, so it's still a very even game, but it does go back to what you just mentioned. Yopaj, he's the win condition. He's well and truly ahead of everyone else on the map. And that's all you really care about right now if you're OB.Neon. Everyone else just doesn't matter. It's all about TA.
Yeah. Just getting up online on that TA. Mind you, Motivate.Trust have managed to build up a couple of blinks here. They've got Fearless's blink flying in. They even have the blink on Q's Lion. So they've got the double initiation ready with a vac wall. They can play around that. It's just that OB.Neon have done a good job of just playing as 2, splitting up, getting the space out for the course to farm. I think the only way OB.Neon's Motivate.Trust will force that response in the way that the team fights work for Motivate.Trust side is if they force an objective. So they need to maybe apply pressure in the lane to force the 4-man rotation in. And once that rotation's in, as we saw in the tier 1 bot, they can really abuse that defense. They can abuse the clump up, and they can really get the stuns going, especially with the blinks up. And that's probably the, that's the go time for Motivate.Trust. But I think they're also pretty relaxed with just getting Jackie some farm. Like, he's got the Yasha going into the Manta. You do have to watch for the Roshan timing. No Desolator, but with tag team up, Yopaj can still make short work of the Rosh.
Roshan, yeah, no time to really respond here from Motivate. They have grouped up, and I believe they are going for a smoke, but there's just no way in hell you can take this long. I mean, maybe they can, but with the tag team back up on Shanks, gonna be a nice, easy Roshan. Motivate, they're still gonna try and force this Fearless. He has the blink up, a nice Earth Spike again, and now the Burrow Strike. Genuel already gone, and Yopaj, he disappears. Shanks, he will drop as well. The buybacks are there. They need to help out their TA, but the Hex is out. Now the vacuum back as well. Yopaj, he's still alright, but not for long, because Fearless, he gets the burrow. They will trade their lives, but they got the target they wanted. And they'll commit 2 buybacks as well on OB.Neon. They aren't going to be able to make it in time to help their TA. Q, I mean, first game around, just so on point with the burrows. This game with the Earth Spikes, he's just been magnificent.
Yeah, that was some excellent blink reveals for Motivate.Trust on both heroes. Like, they got the Sand King and Lion Blink nearly at the same time. They managed to get that initiation working, and that's what we just talked about. When OB.Neon clump up, the team fight is a lot scarier coming out from Motivate.Trust. They have the control, they have the vac, Earth Spike, Burrow Strike, Egg, Epicenter as well. Just too much to handle. They can try running down now if they want, invading that jungle, but they were forced to buy back. They lost a lot of resources on those 2 heroes already, and now they kind of lost their lead. Roshan just pretty much negated after losing the Aegis and losing the actual hero who picked it up. And for Motivate.Trust, they just need to wait for these cooldowns to reset, and they could look to go again.
Yeah, certainly scary times here for OB.Neon, as now Yopaj just barely ahead of net worth in terms of ahead of Jackie, but you know Jackie, John, he disappears for a while, comes back, and suddenly he's just outfarmed everyone. And that's exactly where it's kind of coming to now, as he's just 200 gold behind Yopaj on that TA. Still, there's going to be a big group up. OB.Neon, I don't think they can make it to the high ground of that triangle. Could get Spotted. Enryu gonna find set 0. They've got the Phoenix. It's a nice way to start, but he's gonna be able to back off. Q, he will sacrifice his life for that. So they still get the support. In fact, they got a 4 instead of a 5, so you can argue it was an even better kill. But OB.Neon certainly probably wanted a bit more than that. He definitely wanted at least a core, and well, for now, they're just gonna have to settle and perhaps try to set up for a tier 2. But they won't even have time. Q's gonna be up in 10.
It's actually pretty bad news for OB.Neon that these smoke ganks don't translate into tower pushes, right? You've got Leshrac, you've got a TA with good damage output. You kind of want to melt those objectives, start to shut down the map, and they've done good work with mid and top tier 1. Tier 2s have not been pressured. Bot tier 1 still stands, so the triangle's still fairly secure here for Motivate.Trust. And they're just still using the map space well. Sure, there is the jungle invasion coming out here from OB.Neon, but the bot jungle's very open for Jackie. He has his manta up, and they might spot enemy.
Well, they have found the Phoenix, but set 0, he has the egg if he needs it. Go for an Icarus dive and a Sunray. He's going to need to force the egg out, and does, but they've got the Viper. Double stuns up again. Epicenter's there with the Hex out. They should have enough, but Yopaj is in. Sireblade's flying out. Fearless, he might just drop, and he does. A nice trade there for OB.Neon. And they might even find more now that the shards are out. Masaros, he's been caught. The Earth Spike, it's not going to be enough. OB.Neon, they do get the better end of this. In fact, a 3rd hero has been caught. Yopaj, going to get a double now on the TA. Happy days for OB.Neon. They might now be able to force the tier 2 tower out of this. They've still got some time with that DD rune on Yopaj. It looks like he's just going to go to the triangle instead and just keep the farm up.
Couldn't quite get the space out as there was the threat of split push coming out from Jackie on bot tier 2. So CTM was forced to TP back and kind of handle that lane, prevent that tower trade from happening. Very good fight coming out from OB.Neon, and that's where they are stronger. If the full team fight can't come out from the side of Motivate.Trust, one by one, the damage output of OB.Neon can still burst through the heroes of Motivate.Trust. So for Motivate.Trust, they need to stick together a bit tighter. They can't afford to just jump around on a Viper with just 2 heroes. You need more, because if OB.Neon responds, you fall flat.
Set 0, I think he's just got to stop hanging around that area. Just continues to run into Enryu on that Viper. Very, very scary stuff. Fearless kind of staring down Shanks, but he's alone right now. Shanks will commit the snowball, so it's even more tempting to jump in. I doubt he has enough damage without the Epi, but now with Q coming in, they probably will have enough damages. The Burrow Strike is there, the Earth Spike is out to follow, and now with the Sunray, it's not going to be hard of a kill. Just needed a bit of patience. In the meantime, though, Yopaj now does have the full BKB up, and set 0, well, I'd hate to say it, John, but it's that same area. He's going to try for the TP, but there's no way, surely! Ooh. Oh, I thought there was one more tick of the Viper Strike, but apparently not. He does the math and he gets himself out of it.
Yeah, and some quick mats coming out there for set 0. Really nice bailout. Issue is, he has egg and they're still looking to fight here on
CTM, Epicenter, they've got the control again. This is the big one. Help is coming, but is it going to be fast enough? Not quite. Surge away from Masaros, Yopaj, Meld Strike. It's going to be on the illusion. They got the trap. They hold him down, or they won't even need to. The damage, even without the Deso, is all there from Yopaj. They do at least end up getting that Pos 1 Leshrac as the trade.
Yeah, much better trade coming out there for Motivate.Trust, because they're forcing responses from Yopaj, who's not just sitting back and farming. And they are still buying space for that Terrorblade. You do drop your Darkseer, stalling out the Ag's timing here for Masaros. It's fairly close that you don't feel too bad. You got the bigger kill, you're slowing down any sort of push that can come out because you lack the Leshrac. All your push is on that hero for the most part at this point. And as long as the Leshrac is down, no matter what else happens, you don't have to worry about towers being taken on Motivate.Trust side. So they can relax a bit, keep playing the farm game until respawns are up and cooldowns are refreshed. Still a bit more until the wall is up, but they're still posturing around the jungle.
Q gonna run right in. Enryu very quick with the run of Atos, but Fearless is there to back him up. Yopaj though, Meld Strike is there, but the Burrow Strike is gonna fly out. Egg has been dropped as well. They're still gonna try and force this fight here into MTG. Can they get it done? They can. Yopaj, he gets Fearless on the Sand King. The Egg does absolutely nothing. Masaros Couldn't get a nice vac wall to go either as Yopaj is still moving forward onto set 0. They've got the Phoenix, a triple kill there for the Templar. Smasseros, he will just TP away. OB.Neon, off the back of Yopaj, could just keep rushing forward. And Motivate, it does feel like they're going to start needing Jackie to get involved here on this Terrorblade. He's not quite ready yet. Just about 200 gold off that Eye of Skadi. And that might be the timing. But before that, it just doesn't feel like you've got enough damage.
No, they really do need the Terrorblade. If not, they can still take these fights, but they need to have these spells up. They didn't have the wall in that engagement. They were running around under a ward. Like, the vision game from Neon has been on point in watching that top jungle. They just kind of play into the hands of OB.Neon, camping on the low ground, and the entire initiation was just kind of ruined from that. So, might have to invest in some sentries here on Motivate.Trust's side to prevent that from happening. Good news is Jackie did manage to split push the bot tier 2. So it's a tier 2 for tier 2 trade. Not too bad in the overall picture of things. It is better for Neon, not only for the fight, but because they can take the better outpost here closer to Roche. So you take out the Roche TP point for Motivate.Trust, makes it harder to contest that objective. Speaking of the Roshan, a bit of a longer respawn, nearing about 2 minutes 50 seconds on its max. So not a quick Roshan respawn, still more time for both teams to farm. Yopaj finishes up the Deso. So this time around, he does have even more damage flying out. And that could be it. Like that's the big spike for the TA. Motivate.Trust have to be a bit careful now jumping that TA. If they can't lock her in, her damage is going to be insane.
No, absolutely. Skadi is up though. Jackie going to start working towards the BKB now, but a big smoke up. OB.Neon still feeling like they have the advantage, and they probably do. Are going to start rushing towards Motivate.Trust. Jackie, he just went to the bot lane as well, so he's not going to be there for the team fight. I don't think he'll make it in time, and Fearless, he's going to get jumped again on this Sand King. And he does not have a chance of survival. Jackie? Oh, he thought about running into the triangle. They do ping him out. They saw him for a second, but they aren't going to be able to catch him. Looks like they will slowly but surely start pressuring this mid-tier 2 tower now. With the Desolator, it's not going to be too hard. It's Motivate.Trust. Without their Sand King, it's a very hard ask to go for this fight. You've still got the Vac wall, but you haven't got anything like a blink to initiate with. So it is going to be rather challenging to try and start it. At the very least, Jackie does deny the tier 2 off, and it looks like someone is going to have to TP bot to address that bot tier 3 tower for the Radiant. OB.Neon probably not going to be able to overstay their welcome here in this dire triangle. Still though, they are finding some nice objectives.
Yeah, they managed to really start clearing out the map. And that's what we wanted to see coming out from OB.Neon with that Leshrac, starting to really build in. And for the side of Motivate.Trust, again, it's down to execution. They need to work together as a team, as we saw in Game 1. It is getting a bit awkward just jumping in like that. Very good movement from OB.Neon, understanding that if they get the jump first, then there's the potential for the team fight never coming out for Motivate.Trust, and it starts to really fall flat there for the counter initiation on the Dire side. BKB for Jackie should help the cause once that's up. You will only really have to worry about Walrus Punch canceling TPs, and then you can just focus on the TA matchup trying to hit her down. That could be one way to kind of turn things around here for Motivate. Let's see, does Yopaj, he was queuing up the Ag Shard. He does have it up. So he's got the Silence on hand. I don't think anyone has an early BKB yet, or any source of Dispel. So that Silence in a big team fight, the trap in a good spot, will punish the side of Motivate.Trust. And you can see on the map, they've got 1 million sentries. They just want to make sure they're not spotted out. They should take care of those traps, as they can't afford to fight under them. Like, one Silence while you're trying to get your Vac Wall combination with the Earth Spike, with a Burrow Strike, and then your team fight again just falls apart.
Don't worry though, John. In about 7 days, this hero will be non-existent after the new patch does come out. Thankfully. These shards are just too good. I mean, it's just too much. 3.5 second silence. It increases the trap amount you can hold by 4 for some reason, as if the silence wasn't enough. And on top of all that, the Sire Blades with 1 billion range, refraction, you can't even do any damage. I mean, it's just too much. This hero, it just carries games by itself.
That it does. Funny thing is, I just noticed when Jackie used reflection, I saw some side blades bouncing from the reflection of the Opash. It didn't do a lot of damage. Oh my goodness, what happened to Motivate.Trust
Uh-oh.
here? Someone pulled
Uh,
a router.
Someone pulled the router out. Coach is not satisfied with what he's seen. Just
My pro.
my pro, not very happy with what he's been seeing this game too. Just pulls the router out. Nobody will be playing until they apologize to my pro Dota. Happy birthday, by the way, my pro. Gotta give him the shout out. While we do have this longer pause, because I'm sure it is going to be a longer pause, John, have you had merienda today?
No, actually. You know why?
Oh,
You want to know why? I'm going to tell
why?
you why anyway, even if you don't care. It's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday
Oh,
to my mom. We had a heavy lunch and we're going to have some nice wine and cheese later.
wow, wow,
That's how we
wow.
celebrate. So, no merienda. Going to have some wine and cheese. Very good cheese. Davao cheese.
Mm,
Good stuff.
very good.
And yeah, happy birthday to my mom if you're watching.
Yeah,
Mom Ivy, happy birthday. There you go.
happy birthday, Mrs. Fernandez. Very, very good to hear. Would you like to tell us what you had for lunch, John? A heavy lunch is what you
Yeah.
said.
Oh
What did you
yeah,
have?
we had a rack of ribs from a restaurant we ordered,
Delicious.
and we had paella fevula. I don't know. It's like paella, paella, but pasta, angel hair pasta and seafood cooked in
Ooh,
spice. It's
yeah.
pretty good. It was really nice. It's really nice. We haven't had that for a long time, so it was good. That was it. And we ordered some 24 chicken, some boneless chicken Korean fillets,
Ooh,
whatever, boneless fried chicken, Korean fried chicken. So that
delicious.
was good. Very heavy lunch. I was kind of sad. I did want to have a banana because of Fearless and Monsters, but no bananas in this house. We had durian last
Oh,
night. Very
no.
good, very good stuff from our neighbors. They handed it like literally like the wall. The dividing line of the house is there. There's a small wall fence. He
Yeah.
just hands it over the wall. It's like, hey, here's a durian. It's like, just
Is
handing
this
a spiky fruit
is
to
this
your
is this
neighbor.
the same guy that burns trash next door?
Oh no, that's the other guy.
Okay, all right. So one of
That's
the
the guy on
neighbors
the
is actually
lowest level.
quite a nice guy, and then you got the other
Yeah,
idiot on the side who just can't stop burning trash and
it's
suffocating
actually
you.
like three people. Yeah, three different neighbors.
Right.
Like three of them burn, and our one neighbor is really cool.
Good. You like durian, John? I haven't
Oh, it's great.
I haven't tried it. I'll be honest. I smelt it once and it just turned me off straight away.
Oh,
I
you shouldn't
haven't.
just smell it. You
I
should eat it.
know. I know. I was a bit uncultured at the time, John. I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. I'm very particular with what I eat personally. So it's a bit of a new experience for me. Maybe if I do get to travel to the Philippines after this pandemic, I can give it a crack.
Yeah, hopefully. Just got news. It's a blackout over at Motivate.Trust. Hopefully, it doesn't last too long.
Yeah.
It looks like they have managed to come back in, and now just waiting for Jackie to come in. Looks like he might have extended issues in there as well, hopefully. But back to the durian. Yes, I'm from Davao, right? Like this city is known for its fruits,
Right.
pomelo, durian. It's actually festival season this month.
Oh.
Like it's supposed to be Kadayawan, we call it, like the harvest festival. So it's the season for fruits. I think we have a lanzones tree up front. That should have some fruits. Have you ever had lanzones? They're like
Well, what is that?
I don't know how to I don't know how to describe them. They're like they're technically citrus fruits, I think, because
Citrus,
they've
John.
got those.
Citrus.
Yes, citrus. There's technically citrus, but they're very sweet, and it's very nice stuff. But if you're down here, we can get you some from the tree if it's in season. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for that, John. We'll get back into the game now. No more fruit talk from you. Motivate.Trust. Just gonna keep the farm up. It's the one good thing about you, John, is I know if I ask you about food, you could go on for days. I wouldn't have to say a word. I could just let you talk. It's like a pre-recorded conversation with you. You just always have something to talk about when it comes to your culinary experiences.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of topics, but a lot of them are less than interesting, like useless princesses.
Oh, John. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself, Jonathan. Enough. Stop bringing
It's
up
a
that
great
damn...
manga. I will defend it. Oh, Henry, he broke his he attacked an illusion.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you don't do that, Enryu. Smoke will break if it is a real hero, but they're going to rush for the Roshan. In for that Roshan they go. It's going to be a very fast process here from OB.Neon, but Fearless, Epicenter, going to be cancelled off. Just a bit of a pump fake. A lot of traps in that Roshan pit always makes it very challenging to try and fight. Again, those silences lasting for 3.5 seconds, they do get quite annoying to play against. But Yopaj, he's back in. Roshan, very, very low now. Icarus Dive going to get the information. Masteros, he's about 50 gold away from having a Blink Dagger up, but he won't have it in time. Very unfortunate stuff for him. Yopaj is back at it with the tag team now from Shanks. It's going to be even faster. They need to jump in right here, right now, but it's too late. Roshan's down. They have jumped in, but it is definitely too late. The Burrow Strike Epicenter is there with the egg in the vacuum now. It could be a great team fight as they do get one. In fact, no, they don't. The snowball, it was there to save. The finger wasn't enough. Enryu, he will still die in CTM. He will drop as well. So in the end, Motivate, they're still making it work, even with the Roshan going the either way. Yopaj, he does kill off set 0, but it's going to cost him the Aegis, and it will probably cost him another life. Looks like it's going to be 4 down unless he can blink away Burrow. He has the Sandstorm. It's just not going to be enough here from Yopaj. Full team wipe perhaps, Genuel. Yeah, he's not getting out. Masteros, he'll be there with the Aghanim Scepter Iron Shells. Vacuum back. A full team wipe from Motivate. 6 heroes going down when you count the Aegis. And that's a huge turnaround now for Motivate.Trust.
I feel like we've seen this before, Mike. I feel like the first Roshan kind of ended the same way here for OB.Neon. And Motivate.Trust again showing us how strong they are in these actual big clumped up team fights. It looked like a really good save coming out with a snowball. Shanks did stall out the fight, but they were already very low after that initial jump in for Motivate.Trust. And Neon, we didn't really see the big traps silencing before the fight. Like, there were so many. They didn't manage to use it before the spells were used. And that just gave Motivate.Trust a big window to still initiate and to still get the fight, to deny off the Aegis. At the least, I believe that was a free Ag Shard coming out. And the cheese should still be there on Yopaj, and he does have it up. So you still have some tools. The Roshan still gave you something else to play with. But it's not as good as just the second life. And you don't have that safety net for OB.Neon. They lose the lead, 1K standing their way, but Motivate.Trust aren't too far behind. I think the big difference right now is if you look at farm, Jackie's on top. The issue right now for Motivate.Trust is that both Masteros and Fearless are pretty behind. Like, CTM is still up there as well, just lagging a bit behind Yopaj, but still in a better spot than Fearless and Masteros, the bananas in pajamas right now. So as long as they can kind of leverage those 2 bigger cores on OB.Neon side, they can kind of do a lot more. The issue is we're starting to reach that point where scaling on the Leshrac and on the Viper might start to taper off now.
Yeah, certainly so. Yopaj, realizing something is wrong here, does back off at the exact right moment. Of course Yopaj found an enchanted quiver. Well, CTM got it, but you know who it's going to. Right to the TA. So plus 300 magic damage on that first hit for our Templar Assassin now. There you go, Yopaj. Eat your heart out. Enjoy. TA doesn't really have burst damage. You needed a bit more.
Yeah, you always do. You always get what you ask for when you go farming in the neutrals. And that's going to help Yopaj out to get some even sicker Sideblade spillovers. I'm wondering if the Reflection actually gets that bonus. I would just die if I saw that Reflection actually get a first hit that spills a mile away.
We'll find out very soon if that is indeed a feature or not, John. Only a feature though, nothing else. Yopaj, top lane, he's got to be careful. They seem to know he's around somewhere. Jackie gonna go for the tier 1 top tower, and that'll be enough information here for Yopaj to know not to try to force something. Then again, he can blow somebody up. In fact, he's gonna try the Melt Strike. It gets rid of half his HP. Masteros, he's just gone. And that is literally an assassination, John.
Oh yeah. Just a drive-by there coming out from Yopaj. They need Ghost Scepters on some of these heroes. Like, they did have a couple. They have one on Q at the least, but they need more. And you can see Neon, they're playing the opposite side of Yopaj where all the attention was. They're cleaning out the triangle. CTM's getting some good farm, saving up for BKB. So Lesh with BKB is going to be pretty impactful, as he can just stand there, get his damage off. BKBs on Neon can only last so long, and it's not like they have many BKBs. It's only really on Jackie right now. No one else has the spell immunity. So a Leshrac that can stand forward and not care for the stuns is going to be very scary. and that should extend the power spike for CTM here. OB.Neon, they're starting to lag behind in farm again. 3k lead goes on to the way of OB.Neon, but Motivate.Trust, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. As long as they find these team fight opportunities, it can line up, but the BKBs will cause issues, as even Enryu has one now, so your control is starting to really fade away. You have to be on point with your start. You have to get your stuns first before the BKBs can pop.
Yeah, certainly so. Then again, Jackie's got Daedalus up, John. So I don't know if these BKBs, you know, Jackie, he's probably not going to care about that whatsoever. Of course, his team is, that's for sure, but well, now this Terrorblade's hitting that much more. Speaking of, Yopaj, he's going straight for an MKB, so he's not bothering with the Daedalus quite yet. I don't believe he's actually going to be... There's no evasion, is there? I'm trying to have... Oh, I guess you've got the TB evasion at level 10, right? 16% can be quite annoying. Bot lane, CTM going to be caught out. The epicenter is there. He's going to try and survive, but the damage output from Jackie is just too high. Look at the damage, John. Henry, he's trying to run another vac walls out. Massaros, he finds everybody in the backlines, but the snowball is going to save the day. Januel, he's still going to drop Jackie. He's onto a triple. Back in onto another. Who have they got? It's going to be the Tusk. An ultra kill out for Jackie now as they're onto the high ground. So you lost Massaros for that vac wall, but it was a perfect setup. The snowball only delayed the inevitable, it felt like, and I guess you got your Pasha.
They're going Q4
Jackie,
again.
Yeah, right at the tier 4s, no playing around, there's no buymax left, it's only a 2v4 now. With this meta up, he's gonna run out of time though. He doesn't have the Terror Wave. Only a couple more seconds. And he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, and there we go. They're going to move in. Yopaj, it's him and the Tusk against the world here. Can they get it done? The Hex is there, but the Snowball saves Shanks. Going to buy some time. Jackie, back onto the Ancient, but now the Earth Spike's there, and the Burrow Strike. They clean them up. The buyback's out. Henry's back into this team fight. Maybe they can defend this Jackie. Back with the BKB. Onto the TA. The Hex again, but the Force Staff. It'll buy the time. Jackie needs to leave now. They can't finish the game. They're going to have to leave Fearless behind here on the Sand King. He'll go into the Ghost Scepter, blink away, and has a burrow. He might actually make it, but Yopaj, he's on the chase. He needs to get something out of this. Oh, Motivate. Trying to go after the jugular again. Fearless, he's going to run. Oh, another nice vacuum is there, but Yopaj, he's quick with the BKB. He has the cheese anyway. Massaros, no, the Hex is out. They couldn't surely turn this. Epicenter, Fearless, that is very brave, sir. Blink away, wall down. Is not going to actually connect on Yopaj, but the Burrow Strike into the Epicenter. Maybe they can do it, Jackie. He's back with the DD rune, and he's got the Metamorphosis back up. They've got the tie back onto Yopaj. They've got Enryu down. This could be GG. Where did he get the meta again? Did they have a refresher shot or something?
No, it was just long enough that on the retreat he just came back in, has the DD. That Ancient is looking mighty juicy, and I don't think Electric and Enchantress are enough.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. John Januel gonna get caught. 1.8k crit from Jackie. One hit. See you later. They'll try. Shanks, he's in with the Walrus Punch, but there's your vacuum into the egg, and the Burrow Strike. Fearless. It's just perfect. It is absolutely perfect here from Motivate.Trust Gaming. And OB.Neon, they'll be knocked out as they give the GGs and the good lucks over.
What?
Toy from Motivate.Trust. I'm not sure what they mean, John.
Oh my god. How? 2 games. The bloodiest games we've seen here in the BTS Pro Series, the Lootbet Pro Series 7. Just an insane way of closing out Motivate.Trust. Right, like they looked weird early on, like they were dropping some heroes, but when it came to Roshan, when they got their team fight off, I have no clue. We're gonna ask them in the interview.
Yeah, Fearless, just for everyone so they know, in the post-game chat, Fearless has apologized and said, "I mean Toys are Kung." I don't know what that means. I guess we'll ask and we'll see what the idea is here from Motivate.Trust. Who have we got, John? We got somebody.
Not yet. We can talk about the game a bit more, as I think Zex is still handling that. So, okay, wait. Before I talk about more, Fearless, he's telling me what Toizakung means. He said it's a shout out to their friend Toizakung, because they'll have him as a stand-in on the 13th. So
Oh,
they just need to be shout out for him.
okay.
Interesting way of doing that in the closeout there, Fearless. But they're in high spirits. Going back to that game a bit, right? First Roshan, the Roche just drops to the TA with the tag team very fast, and then Motivate.Trust for smoke. They still run in. They still got the vac wall. They got the control. It was the blink reveal as well. That timing was just perfect
Hmm.
from Motivate.Trust. Lion and Sand King blink together. Then second Roche. They were in. They managed to take the pit. And exact same thing happens. We thought the TA traps would be enough to just silence and control up. It wasn't. They didn't manage to get the usage as they'd expect there on Yopaj with the Ag shard up. And it just kind of fell through from there. So really well played for Motivate.Trust. They've really tied it in together. It looks like we're still waiting for the interview to come in from the Motivate.Trust manager. We'll see who does come down. But yeah, just amazing play. Unfortunate, like OB.Neon's out. This is the first day of lower bracket of playoffs
Yep.
for the Loot Bet Pro Series 7, and OB.Neon's out. Like,
Loot
that's
Bet Pro
nuts.
Series, John. It happens every time. Like, you're always gonna have some very early upsets in the Pro Series, and this is what we love about this tournament. It's just you just don't know what's gonna happen, even in these round one of the playoffs. And we do have an interview. We have Fearless himself coming in, so he can explain it to me.
Him. Oh, yes.
Hello, Fearless. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory against OB.Neon.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
We were so hyped.
Tell me about it. Game number 2. I mean, hold on. Game number 1. Why did you guys go
Yeah.
for the tier 4 towers? Like, what went through your mind to say, screw it, we're ending this game in 22 minutes?
Yeah. After getting the Satanic and Aegis, I mean, Jackie just said, just go in. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I bought the Academy Chart and Drum to end the game.
And game 2, same kind of story. You guys just said, screw it, we're going for tier 4s. Like, Jackie's just not taking any risks. He just wants to finish the game every time.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Before John gets to ask you, Fearless, I couldn't help but notice you said Toy at the end of the game, and then you corrected yourself and said Toys a Kung. Who's Toys a Kung, Fearless? Who is this man?
He's our friend. He's top 100 on the leaderboard.
And he's playing for you guys soon.
Yeah. He's a post 1 carry. I mean,
Wow.
post 1 player.
Oh.
He will
He's
be standing in for us on the 13th.
He's replacing Jackie for one day.
Yeah.
My big shoes to fill here for Toys a Kung. Can't wait to see it. John, go ahead. Ask some questions.
Fearless, I've got a question. I've seen you through the past few days. We've been chatting a lot. What inspired you and Masaros to go for the bananas and pajamas? Why B1 and B2?
It's get to some point where me and him have the same MMR. Like, for example, 9640 for like 2 days already. Like, literally same number.
Yeah. So it's like you guys are the twin bananas then.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Now, going forward, you guys aren't you guys the defending champs coming in, right? Like defending champs coming through, starting in the lower bracket here. How are you guys feeling about going through the tournament? Do you think Southeast Asia, do you think the other teams have kind of put up a bigger fight than last time, or are you guys kind of relaxed, kind of happy about still starting lower, climbing all the way towards the grand finals here?
I mean, all other teams are looking so strong now, like compared to last year. This year, they are all so strong.
Yeah.
So we
They
kind
have.
of like have to prepare for every match.
I've got one more question before anything else. I know you guys play a lot of tournaments. Do you think that's been a big benefit, or do you guys feel maybe some sort of, or do you guys feel tired from playing so many games across different tournaments? Is it helpful, or is it kind of working against you guys here?
I mean, if we win, yes. If we lose, no. It's kind of demotivate. If we
Fair
lose
enough.
a lot.
That happens. It's like when you play pubs and you crash an MMR, right? It happens. If you win, you're happy. If not, well, what can you do?
Yeah. No. If I lose the pub game, I can blame the teammate. I report them.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Fearless, next matchup though. You've either got GXR or you've got T1. Do you have a preference? Which team would you prefer?
I would prefer GXR, I think.
Okay.
Because T1 looking so strong now. I prefer to see T1 in the grand final.
Oh, all right. Very confident
M1
words
gang.
there.
Yeah. The
Indeed,
MY
very,
gang
very.
matchup.
You love to see it. All right, with that, Fearless, we'll let you go. We'll let you have your night and enjoy your series victory, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon for your next series.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Fearless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I always love talking to Fearless. Such a happy guy. Remember the first time we interviewed the poor guy? He was so nervous. He's still here, by the way, in the Discord. Fearless, stop listening into the post interview. For the love of God, you can leave now, sir. We'll just drag him out so he knows. We'll get him out of here. Just trying to see if we talk about him right after. He wants the live feed. You can watch like everyone else, Fearless. You can wait for the 5-minute delay. It's so good to see him talking so casually now, right? Like I remember the first time we interviewed Fearless, he straight up said, "I am the only thing I'm afraid of is interviews," and now just talking so confidently, laughing during the interviews, very very good to see. And Motivate.Trust. I mean, they looked so rocky at the start of the tournament, and even they were saying the other teams in SEA have looked a lot stronger this year, which I would agree with. By the way, I think. The TI qualifiers and the way the majors work kind of shows that. He is correct in saying SEA just looks stronger as a region this year for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's good to see them still feeling so confident and so happy regardless of their struggles as of late. But they looked fantastic here, John. I mean, it looked like they weren't struggling at all.
Yeah. It was. This is basically the Motivate.Trust that we've been looking for the past few weeks, right? It's been hit and miss. Sometimes their early game looked bad. Sometimes their mid game, late game decision making weren't lined up. This time it all lined up, and it's looking like this might be them back in form. We'll see if they can maintain it. As you said, as Fearless said, everyone else is also looking just as strong. So it's a bloodbath. Again, we already had 2 teams eliminated today. OB.Neon gone, AG gone. Both very great teams. Especially OB.Neon, one of the top in Southeast Asia. So we'll just have to see how it develops. But this is, it's LootBet Pro Series 7. It's a bloodbath every single day.
Absolutely. Now, I'm just having a look at the tomorrow's schedule. Execration was Fnatic, GXR and T1 against each other. So we're going into the upper bracket tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong, John. It is Aries and Black coming back to cast tomorrow?
Yep.
Excellent.
It should be.
So you are going to have Aries and Black for the upper bracket round of 1 tomorrow, so you guys enjoy that. Apart from that, though, that is going to be it for tonight in terms of the games for SEA and for the LootBet Pro Series 7. It has been an absolute pleasure today. Really hype games, in fact. But it is MLP Dota and JohnXFire, and it's been a pleasure. We'll see you all again later on during the playoffs, so we can come back and get some more casting done. We'll see you then.